Hello, my name is Gabriela Casineanu, and today I'll talk about the 7 environments that can weaken or empower you. It is part of the Introvert Tools for Navigating Challenging Situations, which is an introductory series of webinars based on the curriculum of the Introverts Academy. A few words about us. Our mission is to raise awareness about introvert strengths and how to tap into their impressive inner power for personal, professional, organizational, and systemic development to build a better world for all of us. And we're doing this at 4 levels: individual, interpersonal, group, organizational level, and systemic level. This wheel represents a curriculum of the Introverts Academy, and this is an introductory webinar for the environment aspect of this curriculum, which actually represents a holistic approach to life. Because we all have a career or business, we have to work on our professional development, relationship with others, relationship with self, how we handle money, passion, hobbies are very important, environment, and holistic health. And all those aspects are interrelated. You cannot just work on one of them without taking in consideration the others because they affect each other. In these webinars, we will also talk about introversion and extroversion and what are the differences for extroverts and introverts regarding each of these areas. A few words about myself. I'm an introvert, and all the webinars and courses I design, I come from an introvert perspective to help introverts understand themselves better and also to help others understand us and together to build a better world. I did a lot of things in my career, and I'll give you an example how it influenced a specific part of my journey. You'll find in these webinars the 7 environments that can weaken or empower you, how they can affect us, and what we can do. I like what Rumi said. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Let's start with an exercise. It has 2 steps. I'll ask you a question, then I'll ask you to pay attention to something. How do you feel right now? Think of how the COVID pandemic affected your life. How do you feel? Take a few seconds and notice. Now relax. Just look at that word and say to yourself, relax. How does that feel? These are the environments I want to talk about. Relationships, network, surroundings, and I put nature separate because it has certain characteristics. Mindset, spiritual, physical, and personal. And in each of these environments, your energy could be drained or you can get more energy depending on what is happening in that environment. And we're talking about external environments and internal environments. And it's different for extroverts and introverts, as you probably know, because introverts get energy from inside, being by themselves in nature. Extroverts get more energy by talking to people, interacting with others. As you can see here, on the left side, we have relationship, network, surroundings, and nature. And most people think that they have no control about those aspects that are external to them. On the right side, we have mindset, spiritual, physical, and personal, which is about the choices and actions you take. I hope you agree that you have more control on. So there are these 2 types of environments, external and internal, and both of them affect you. Let's do another exercise. Imagine you are here in this place and something like this is happening. How do you feel? What's your first reaction? Now imagine that you're here. You just open the doors and you have this view. How does this feel? You'll understand throughout the webinar why I'm doing these exercises with you. Now let me tell you about my burnout story. It started around 2015. I was working for an organization. I was doing workshops every day, and the rest of the hours I was talking with clients. So it was a lot of talking, which is taking a lot of energy from an introvert. It started to affect my physical. I got tired and I felt exhausted. It was getting worse. So you can see how the environment affected my physical health. Then I went to my manager. I remember in February 2016, And I told her that it's too much, I cannot handle it anymore, can we do something about it? And her reaction was, I talk too. She didn't talk to clients, she didn't talk too often, so she didn't have the same workload in terms of interactions with others. She couldn't understand what I'm saying. Receiving such an answer, that lack of empathy and compassion, I left her office thinking that I cannot change anything. And that specific moment was what led to my burnout, because I gave up on myself. I said I can't do anything about it. And what happened next? My physical symptoms started to get worse. I started getting anxiety. I was barely walking, putting one step after another, taking almost 5 seconds to regain my balance and to be able to put another step forward. So it was really, really bad. I started losing my focus. It started affecting my mindset. That thought that I cannot do anything made me think like I'm in a cage. I couldn't do anything. I started getting into that downward spiral that you can see on the right. And it started getting worse on the physical side. At one point, I had to go to the doctor saying that I cannot handle this anymore. I started getting dizzy and all the other systems were piling up, and I didn't know exactly why, because I thought I can handle, but my physical body didn't, and started reacting in ways that I never imagined. I didn't know why, what's happening with me. I started looking to see if I can change anything in the surroundings, and I noticed that I couldn't breathe normally. I had to go outside to get fresh air to come back to continue my work. The same type of environment I was working for all these months earlier. So I started looking into, is there anything there that I can do on the personal level? I was having my coaching business in parallel with my job, and I couldn't focus on my personal business. I couldn't take action. I was just going down and down and down on that spiral. And it was really bad because it was hard to imagine that I can do something to take me out of this. At one point I couldn't talk. The muscles around my vocal cords were so tight because of the stress that I couldn't talk anymore. And 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, I was without voice. I started getting worried. What do I do the rest of my life? If I can't talk anymore, I asked myself one day. And what happened? A quick shift in my mind. It came with the idea, start writing a job search guide for introverts. And that idea came to my mind with such a force, with such an energy, that shifted my mood, shifted the way I was thinking. I went from going on the downward spiral that I can't do anything into, yes, I can do something. If I can't talk, at least I can write. Even if I couldn't focus too much, I couldn't concentrate, I start writing 5-10 minutes a day, and in time I've got to 20 minutes a day, 1 hour, and in 10 months when the book was done, I arrived to 7-8 hours a day. So I was able to shift my mindset before I start to go on the upward spiral. I reconnected with who I really am because I wanted to still help people. I wanted to express myself, and that thought of writing a book was so aligned with what I was thinking. So I started connecting with other people who were writing their first book, and staying in touch with them, noticing that we were going through the same challenges was helpful. So I started thinking that actually that there might be something good out of this. I started going more in nature. My doctor didn't want to send me to a psychologist. She said, if I send you to the psychologist, you might get medicine, and if you want, your medicine could be walking in nature. And when she said that, I was at a point where it was really painful to walk for 5 meters. But I forced myself, and every day I went in nature, and that really helped me gain some power a little bit. So you notice when I changed from physical to a better mindset, a positive shift happened. When I added to that mindset something physical, walking in nature, another improvement came up. And I continued to walk in nature every day until I got my health back. I chose my surrounding better. I chose where I'm going, what I'm doing at home, outside. It was months already where I stopped working. I was in medical leave. But I noticed that my mindset was getting better and better, to a point where I was looking forward to whatever the people will think about my book and how many people I can help. It was so uplifting. My physical health was improving along the way, my mindset as well. On the spiritual side, I was getting stronger, more in alignment with who I really am, and it gave me the courage to make a decision with integrity. So I chose to quit the job. I wasn't in the position to get another job at the time because my physical and mental health were not in a good shape, but still I wanted to take the decision because that was in integrity with myself. So it gave me strength to make the decision, and I want to speak with my manager. That's why you see that night in the relationship, and I told her that I want to quit my job. She was really surprised. She was expecting me to come back. But I really wanted to quit because I realized that I don't want to be in an environment that gets me sick. I want to create an environment that makes me flourish. I was so sure that I can make it, even I didn't have a job and I didn't work on my business. I was sure that something good will come out of it. So it gave me that courage to quit a job. And I remember even now when I left the organization with the box with all the stuff I had from the workplace, I wanted to sing like an opera singer, like "O Sole Mio." I was so happy, so excited about this new step in my life. Even if I couldn't really sing yet, by the time I was doing some exercises with a vocal therapist to get my voice back, but it was that sensation that I made the right choice. And I wanted you to understand how the different environments played a role in my journey from burnout, going down the spiral, then up the spiral. And by the time I finished writing that book, all my health symptoms disappeared and I was back to normal. Later on, when I talked about my burnout story with a psychologist, she told me that it's really amazing that I was able to come back in 10 months because for some people, it might take 2, 3, 4 years to come out of the burnout. This is what you do when you pay attention to the environments, external and internal. You might bounce back faster, or you might not even go into a burnout, because if you do whatever works for you, if you pay attention to all these aspects, you might have the courage to make the right choices and take the right actions for you. By the way, if you didn't notice yet, those numbers reflect different phases in my story. What you see on the left side is the emotional guidance scale. I wanted to share this scale with you to understand that when you are at a certain point of the scale, you cannot jump directly. Let's say you are in the worry phase. If someone will tell me, you should be happy, you cannot be happy. You have to go from worry to irritation to frustration, pessimism, boredom. You have to go up step by step in order to become more positive and believe and be hopeful and get to that optimistic and happy phase. So you have to understand you can go down or you can go up. It's part of your internal environment where you can control your mindset, the choices you make, the actions you take. And you can see how it's reflected in my burnout story. Let's talk about these specific environments to understand them better. The relationship environment, it's about the friends, family, colleagues, mentors, associates, pets, those you have close relationship with. There might be people you don't get along well. They affect you. There might be pets that you love and you enjoy, you notice they can boost your energy. So pay attention to who you surround yourself. You might not have the choice. You have a family, for example. You don't have a choice to have another family, but you have a choice of how much quality time you spend with them. And you can choose your friends. If you have friends you don't get along well, that you feel they're draining your energy, you don't have to spend too much time with them. You can look for other people you get along much better with. So you have some control even on the relationships. You probably recognize when someone is yelling at you, it doesn't feel good, right? So it's affecting you. There are things that you can do even in that situation. It's not that you can stop that person. I will get more into details about relationship in another webinar. For now, just keep in mind that there are things that you can do. For example, figure out how you can contribute to make that relationship better. If you help that person understand the way they are talking to you is not serving any of you and the purpose of the relationship, maybe the person is more willing to discuss how we can deal with this together. When you are in the environment, let's say in a team where everyone else is going in one direction and one person is going in a different direction, the dynamic of the team is not working well, so they won't go toward the common goals of the team. Or you might feel like this with your friends or in other situations. Pay attention to those, and instead of going into blaming, ask yourself, what can I do in this situation? The network is about the clubs you join, the groups you're part of, the communities, the associations, the charities, the customers, the vendors in the business environment. So all these people you have connections with, pay attention to what groups you belong to. Do you really want to be in that group? Or do you want to be in another group or not be in any group? Choose those groups, communities, associations that you care about, that you want to be in. Don't let life to throw things on you. If someone tells you, join this association, join this Facebook group, you have a choice to join, to see what is there, or stay or not even join. You always have choices. Pay attention to those, because they can affect your energy. Surroundings, it's about the neighborhood, the city, the country, the workplace, the organizational culture. You might say you have no much choice. I cannot move, for example, if I'm in a big city and I hate big cities. I cannot move in a small city as the country. You might not be able to move tomorrow, but you can plan for it. Or you can plan to create the conditions that you want and work toward achieving that goal. So there is a choice. You can say that you cannot do anything about the organizational culture or the workplace, but think of it like a temporary place and ask yourself what I can do while I'm here. And you see, you'll come up with ideas. For example, if you like me, you don't like open spaces, cubicles, you can bring a plant there. At least you get some energy from that plant, and it's protecting you from the environment. And you can put more plants and images that you like on that cubicle to make it more attractive, so you feel a little bit better being there. So there are things that you can do even in those conditions. And introverts, by the way, don't like too much the open spaces. They drain our energy much faster because there are a lot of things going on and it becomes overwhelming. I wanted to put nature as separate, even if it's our surroundings, because seasons, geography, sunshine, outdoors, they affect us. How do you feel when it's a rainy day and how do you feel on a sunny day? How do you feel when you walk in nature comparing to how you walk in the city? You might say you cannot control the weather. You can control how you feel about it. For example, I don't like rainy days, and actually there are statistics that show that more people get in a bad mood when it's raining. But it's helping nature. The plants are growing, and without that rain, we might not see so many plants, so many beautiful flowers, and fresh air. So there are positive aspects, and if you shift your mind, you can at least let it affect you less. Not get out of that situation, but you can work around it. The environment that I call mindset, it's about the ideas, the concepts, the beliefs that you have, the programming, what other people told you you should or you shouldn't, and you integrate that into your belief system. The way you talk to yourself, the way you coach yourself out of a situation, the information you have in mind. Like my belief when my manager said, I talk too, that I can do anything. It was just a belief, but I didn't realize, and it threw me on that downward spiral. How you react to situations. So there are so many things related to the mindset. To share a story, a man was walking in the forest and it started getting dark and raining, and he went in this cave. He noticed a snake on the floor and he froze. He didn't want to make any move because he was afraid of the snake, and he stayed in that position. He didn't move until the morning came and the ray of light entered the cave, and he noticed that it was a rope. So the belief he had that is a snake made him froze, and actually when he realized that something else, he had a different way of thinking and behaving. So what ideas, beliefs do you keep in your mind? What kind of information? How do you react to what's going on outside you? If you talk about the spiritual side, many people think of religions. But if you really pay attention, religions are more on the left side when it's coming from outside. We are taught we are part of a certain religion, or there are people who give up a religion to take on another one. But these are concepts that we are taught. It's not part of our own inner belief until we make it our own, which becomes our spiritual environment. which is about the values we have, how much energy we have. Because when you are really aligned with what is important to us, we get a lot of energy from inside, especially for introverts. What kind of feelings we have, and we entertain the positive, the negative ones. How much trust do we have in the future, in what we can do? How much we connect with our intuition and trust its guidance? How much motivation we get to move forward? All these aspects are part of the spiritual environment I'm talking about. If you think about the journey, whether you're building your career path or you have a business, you notice ups and downs. And actually, when you are very strong on the spiritual aspect, you have good values, you're really aligned with your objective, you have a lot of energy, you trust that you can make it. Your intuition will help you, will give you ideas, you'll have motivation to go through all those ups and downs to succeed, to get to where you want. So it's very important to pay attention to this spiritual aspect. And it will help you also to not pay much attention to the people who like or dislike you, because you focus on your own objective. And the opinion of those people around you won't influence you too much, because you will be able to navigate through those opinions and see which one aligns with what you want to do in order to move forward. The physical environment, it's about your unique gifts, your body, the diet, the clothing, the physical strength you have, the flexibility. All these are part of your physical environment. And you can notice you have a lot of control on the diet, the clothing, the physical strength, the flexibility. There are things that you can do there. You can help your body to stay healthy. And you can pay attention to what are your unique gifts. I don't know if you're familiar with the theory of multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner. He noticed that people have different tendencies. Some people are very good at interpersonal communications. Other people are good at the logical, mathematical side. Other people are very good at verbal, linguistic. Extroverts are very good at verbal. They can speak very well. Other people have a musical intelligence. The musicians, the composers. Other people have a bodily, kinesthetic intelligence. Those are the people who play sports very well. Other people have a naturalist intelligence. These are those people who love nature and communicate well with animals and care about the earth, care about the nature, about everything that's related to that environment. Other people are very good at intrapersonal communication, which means communication with themselves. A lot of introverts are very good at intrapersonal as well. Other people have visual spatial intelligence. These are people who become architects, for example. We might have one or more that we're good at. One might be predominant. I like what Albert Einstein said, which goes well with this theory of multiple intelligences. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. So what are your unique gifts? Are you aware of your talents, your unique gifts? Do you use them often? That's part of your inner environment that you can become more aware of and use it more often. And you will see how your life will improve. You can add the good diet, clothing, yoga for flexibility. I also had that image with a guy dancing, because for me, exercising is dancing. I love to dance. By myself, I put some music, take a break, and I dance for 5-10 minutes, then I can continue. It gives me energy, it's improving my mood, and then I can come back to what I was working on. So choose whatever works for you. It's not the same for everyone. Notice what's helping you. What do you like? And finally, the environment, which I call personal, is about the choices and actions you make. About the furniture, the music you choose to listen, the home, the possessions you have, the art that you have on the walls, the financial aspect, how you handle the money, not only how much money you have. So there are a lot of choices that you can make about this to improve your environment, to get more energy by choosing the things that makes you feel happy or happier. You can see how much you can do about each of these environments. So these are the 8 environments. I walk you through all of them, and I invite you to pay closer attention to the environments you immerse yourself in. As you noticed, they can affect you. I ask you at the beginning in those exercises, how do you feel in different situations? I hope you noticed the differences between how you felt when you thought about the pandemic and how you felt when I asked you to relax. When I put that word, relax. If you notice, even a small word can make a difference. Pay attention to the words you're using. Then I did the exercise with the 2 environments, and I asked you to pay attention, how does it feel? What are you willing to do? I hope you noticed a difference. And these are just images, and all the time you have images in your mind. They can weaken or empower you. They can give you energy or drain your energy. All the thoughts, all the images that you put in your mind have that power. So pay more attention to what you're doing. How many negative thoughts do you hold in your mind? How often? They can weaken you. So go through all of this and see where you are. And what you can do to get more energy, evaluate each type of environment. What aspects of that environment is weakening you? What aspects are empowering you? And pay attention to those that are weakening to see what can you change. Even small changes count. And keep, of course, the ones that are powerful. And do this for all the environments I showed you, and then decide to take actions. What can you improve? And start taking actions so you can improve those environments. And don't just do it once. Do this exercise from time to time. Let it become a new habit to evaluate your environments and change things in both external environments and in internal environments. And introverts and extroverts might find the same type of environment have a different impact on them. Don't compare yourself with each other. Don't compare yourself with other people. Do whatever works for you. Whatever gives you more energy, whatever empowers you. If it's weakening you, ask yourself, what can I do? How can I tweak this situation, this environment, so it doesn't affect me as much? Or can I change it? There are many little things that you can do. And how we can help at Introverts Academy, group coaching, our membership area, which has additional resources. We also have books, Introvert Strengths series, and we have the self-coaching book series, which has questions to help you figure out by yourself. Because sometimes external triggers help us get unstuck or shift the way we feel. These books act as such triggers. They invite you to self-reflection by asking you questions, by giving you different perspectives, so you discover the answers from within. That's the magic of shifting perspectives. You probably already have the answers you're seeking. However, they are buried deep under a perspective that no longer serves you. You can let the books to help you. You can join a coaching group so you can help each other. There are many ways you can do that. You can do it by yourself. Choose whatever works for you, but it's very important to start working on these things. When you have more energy, you can do more of the things that you want to do. And we also have other webinars, introductory webinars for these aspects of the curriculum wheel, which is a holistic approach to life. Thank you so much, and please subscribe to get notified when we add a new video to our channel.